Welcome to the explainer. Have you ever just stopped and wondered how you can so clearly picture a friend's face or replay a memory like it's a movie right inside your head? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, the incredible mechanics of your mind's own private cinema.
All right, so let's just jump right in with the big question, the one I think everybody's wondered about. When you're daydreaming, or a memory pops into your head, or you have one of those super vivid dreams, how is your brain actually creating those images? Where do they come from?
To really get a handle on this, we're going to start with a really powerful way to think about it. Let's imagine your mind as a kind of inner cinema. So the basic idea is this. Your mind is basically playing the role of a film director. It takes these abstract ideas, right, which are like the script, and then it translates them into the rich visual scenes, the movie, that you experience inside your own head. Okay, so how does this inner director pull it off? Well, it turns out this whole creative process isn't just random chaos. Nope, it's actually a really clear two-way street that controls everything from just seeing the world to having our wildest dreams. So just picture a two-way street in your head. On one side, traffic is coming in. That's something called forward mapping. That's your brain looking at the world and forming an abstract idea about it. But the other way, that's where the magic happens. That's reverse translation, where your brain takes that concept and turns it back into a mental image. Let's make this super simple. Say you see a real, shiny apple on the table. Your brain sees it and creates the abstract concept of apple. Now, later on, when I just say the word apple, your brain is doing that reverse translation. It's projecting an image of an apple into your mind's eye, even though there isn't one there. Kind of amazing, right? Now, here's where it gets really, really cool. The balance between these two processes, this forward mapping and reverse translation, it totally shifts depending on one simple thing, whether you're awake or you're dreaming. Yeah, it's all about who's in the driver's seat. When you're awake, all the stuff you're seeing and hearing, that sensory input, it keeps your imagination on a leash. But when you're dreaming, all that is turned way down, and suddenly your emotions and memories get to write the script. And that's exactly why the images in your head during the day are usually pretty realistic. They're tied to the real world. Your brain is mostly in that forward mapping mode, using these little mental movies to plan things out and predict what's going to happen next. But in dreams, oh man, all bets are off. Without that real-world anchor, your mind goes into full-blown reverse translation mode. It just starts freely mashing up ideas, memories, and feelings. And that's how you get those bizarre, super emotional dream scenes, with weird hybrid objects and scenes that change in the blink of an eye. Okay, but to build these scenes, whether you're awake or asleep, the brain needs a library, right? A kind of inner map where it keeps every single idea it's ever had. So let's go check out that map. Scientists have a name for this: conceptual space. And don't get thrown by the fancy term. Just think of it like a huge, flexible map in your mind where every single concept you know, from dog to love, has its own specific address. And things that are similar, like, say, dog and wolf, they're neighbors on the map. I love this way of picturing it from the research. It's described as a master catalog of possibilities, a catalog of, and I quote, all the possible forms a surface can take. Every single variation has its own little spot. So, to go back to our example, the very specific idea of a red apple would be just one single point on this gigantic mental map, defined by things like its redness, its roundness, its sweetness, all of that. And here's the kicker, the really cool part. Thinking is basically just traveling across this map. When you shift your thought from a red apple to a green apple, you're literally just taking one tiny step on this map. You're changing one little detail, the color, while keeping everything else the same.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We can go back to our cinema analogy, but now we've got this new, incredible piece of the puzzle, the mental map.
So see, your mind isn't just making images out of nothing. It's an active director. It's picking out a few locations on your conceptual map, and then it's using that reverse translation engine to project them as a complete movie onto your mental screen. In this chart just lays it all out perfectly. You start with the concepts, that's your script. Your brain's reverse translation is the director putting all the pieces together. And the final mental image, that's the movie you get to watch. The cat, sleeping on the sofa in the sun. So, okay, this is all fascinating brain science, but so what? Why should you care about this inner cinema? Well, because understanding this model has huge implications for how you remember, learn, and even how you create things.
I mean, think about it. This one idea helps explain so much. It's how we remember things, we're reconstructing scenes. It's the engine of creativity. We travel across our map and combine ideas in brand new ways. It even helps us see our dreams not as just random noise, but as these powerful emotional stories our mind is telling itself.
So the big takeaway here is that your imagination isn't just some random, fluffy thing. It's a structured, incredibly powerful system for exploring this whole inner universe of ideas. Which, of course, leaves us with one last big question. If your dreams are really just your brain exploring its own map, totally free, what incredible new worlds are still waiting to be discovered inside of you?